Welcome back to CyberTechHaus. I am glad you're joining us as we move into Module 5, Cryptography Part 3. In this module, we will build on the cryptography basics we covered earlier and explore some of the most critical ideas in cybersecurity. These concepts are the building blocks of security. They are essential to understanding how and why we protect data, networks, and systems. By the end of this module, you will have a solid grasp of these core ideas, giving you a strong foundation as we continue into more advanced topics. So let's dive in and continue mastering the fundamentals of cybersecurity. Welcome back, everyone, to Module 5, Cryptography Part 3, Introduction to Encryption, Key Management. In this section, we will explore the crucial key management topic in cryptography. We will focus on methods like Diffie-Hellman algorithm, which lets two parties share a secure encryption key even over an untrusted network. We will also touch on key escrow, a concept in which a third party stores encryption keys and allows access when legally required. We will also touch on key stretching techniques. We will examine hardware security modules, HSM, which provide high security storage and management of cryptographic keys, often used in large enterprises and government settings. Let's get started by examining how secure key exchange works. All right, cyber students, let's discuss a crucial step in encryption called key exchange. You remember how we discussed symmetric encryption, where two people use the same secret key to scramble and unscramble messages? Well, before they can start sending those secret messages, they need to agree on a key and exchange it securely. But this can be tricky. Imagine Alice wants to send Bob a secret key for their encrypted messages. She cannot just email it because someone might intercept it, like a sneak spy trying to steal secrets. And even if Bob receives the key, how can he be sure it came from Alice and not someone pretending to be her? That is where key exchange comes in. It's like finding a safe way to deliver that key without anyone else gaining access to it. Out of band key exchange. One way to do this is by exchanging the key outside of the internet, like meeting in person and handing it over the key directly. Or Alice could write the key down and send it by mail. But this can be inconvenient, especially if Alice and Bob live far apart. Imagine sending a key to someone on the other side of the world. In-band key exchange. A better way is to use a special algorithm that allows Alice and Bob to exchange the key securely over the internet, even if they haven't met before. It's like having a secret code they only know how to use. Now, here is a pop quiz question for you viewers. Imagine you and your friend want to use a secret code to pass notes in class. How would you exchange the code without anyone else knowing? You have 5 seconds. Well, if you think that you're going to use a secret code, that is a great idea. And that is similar to how out-of-band key exchange works. But for online communication, we need something more sophisticated, like the Diffie-Hellman algorithm, which we will discuss next. Now, in the world of cybersecurity, keeping those encryption keys secure is super important. If someone like a hacker, let's call him Matthew, gets his hands on the key, he can read all the secret messages. Even worse, Matthew could try to trick Alice or Bob by pretending to be the other person and sending them a different key. This would allow Matthew to eavesdrop on their conversations without them even knowing. That is why we need a secure key exchange method. Out of band methods, like meeting in person or using a separate trusted channel, can work, but they are not always practical. So, to make things easier, we use in-band key exchange methods, which allow Alice and Bob to securely agree on a key over the internet. It's like having a secret handshake that only they know, even if they have never met before. One example of this is the Diffie-Hellman algorithm, which we will talk about next. All right, cyber students, remember how we discussed the challenge of securely exchanging secret keys? Well, the Diffie-Hellman algorithm is a clever solution to this problem. It's like mixing paint to create a secret color only you and your friend know. Imagine Alice and Bob want to share a secret color for their encrypted messages, but they don't want anyone else to know what it is. Here's how they can do it. Step number one, common color. They start with a standard color everyone knows, like yellow. Step number two, they select colors. They each choose a secret color. Alice picks red and Bob picks blue. They don't tell anyone what their secret color is. Step number three, mixing. They mix their secret color with the yellow. Alice gets an orange and Bob gets green. Step number four, exchange. They exchange these mixed colors with each other. Step number five, the final color. Finally, they mix their secret color with the color they received from the other person. Both end up with the same final color, brown. Even if someone sees the whole process, they won't know the secret colors, red and blue, or the final color, brown, because they were never shared directly. It's like magic. In the real world of cybersecurity, Diffie-Hellman works similarly, but instead of colors, it uses numbers. It's a bit more complicated, but the idea is the same. Alice and Bob start with two public numbers that everyone knows. Then they each choose a secret number and use some clever mathematics to mix it with the public numbers. They exchange these mixed numbers, but they keep their secret numbers hidden. Even if someone intercepts these exchanged numbers, they cannot figure out the final secret key without knowing Alice's or Bob's secret number. It's like figuring out the final paint color, brown, without knowing the secret colors, red and blue. This is how Diffie-Hellman allows two people to create a shared secret key over the internet without anyone else knowing, even if they have never met before. It's one of the foundations of secure communication online. Now, here is a pop quiz question for you viewers. Why do you think it is important that Alice and Bob keep their secret colors or numbers hidden in this process? The correct response is if someone knew their secret colors, they could easily figure out the final color and break the code. That is why keeping those private values secret is crucial for the secure communication. Cyber students, we have discussed how strong encryption protects our secrets. But what happens when law enforcement needs to access encrypted information, like in a criminal investigation? That's where key escrow comes in. Think of it like this. You have a safe deposit box at a bank where you keep your valuable items. You have the key to this box, but the bank also keeps a spare key. Under certain conditions, like a court order, the bank can give that spare key to the law enforcement so they can access your box. That is essentially what key escrow is, a way to store a copy of your encryption key with a trusted third party who can give it to law enforcement if needed. Now, key escrow can be a bit controversial. Some people argue that it weakens security and puts our privacy at risk. After all, if someone else has a copy of your key, couldn't they potentially misuse it? A famous example of this debate was the Clipper chip in the 1990s. The US government wanted to use this chip for encryption, but it had a backdoor that allowed them to access the encrypted information. Many people were concerned about this, and the Clipper chip was never widely adopted. The debate around key escrow continues today. It's a balancing act between security and privacy. How do we protect information while allowing for lawful access when necessary? Now, here is a pop quiz question for you viewers. What are some of the potential benefits and drawbacks of key escrow? If you think key escrow could help law enforcement catch criminals, but could also put our privacy at risk, you are probably correct. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But key escrow isn't just for law enforcement. Organizations can also use it for practical reasons. I want you to imagine a company where employees encrypt their work files. What do you think would happen if an employee forgets their password or leaves the company? The company might need to access those encrypted files. In this case, they can use a recovery agent who holds a master key that can unlock all encrypted files within the company. It's like having a master key to all of the safe deposit boxes in the bank. Of course, this master key must be carefully protected to prevent unauthorized access. The key takeaway here is key escrow is a complex issue with both benefits and drawbacks. It highlights the ongoing tension between security and privacy in the digital age. All right, cyber students, We often use passwords to create encryption keys, but passwords can be weak and easy to guess, like password 123 or QWERTY query. That is where key stretching comes in. It is like making a weak padlock super strong by adding extra layers of metal and making the key more complex. Key stretching uses two main techniques. It uses sorting and hashing. Let's start with sorting. Sorting is like adding a secret ingredient to your password, making it harder to guess. Imagine adding a pinch of salt to your favorite recipe. It changes the flavor completely, doesn't it? Hashing. This is like putting your password through a grinder multiple times, making it unrecognizable. Each time you grind it, it becomes more and more jumbled. Now, why do we do this? Key stretching makes it time consuming for attackers to guess passwords. It's like making them solve difficult puzzles every time they try a password. Imagine an attacker trying to break into your account by guessing your password. With key stretching, each guess takes much longer to check, slowing them down significantly. It's like making them run a marathon for every single guess. This makes it impractical for attackers to try millions of passwords, as it would take them forever. Now, here is a pop quiz question for viewers. Why do you think adding salt to a password makes it harder to crack? You are probably correct to think that salt makes the password unique, even if many people use the same password. It's like adding a secret ingredient that only you know. Some popular key stretching algorithms exist, like password-based key derivation, function 2, PBKDF2, and BCrypt. They both use sort and hashing to make keys super strong. PBKDF2 is like putting your password through a grinder thousands of times, while Bcrypt is even more clever. It adjusts the difficulty each time, making it even harder for attackers to keep guessing. The key takeaway is key stretching is a powerful technique that transforms weak keys into complex, hard to crack keys. It's like turning a flimsy padlock into a high security vault. This helps protect our accounts and keeps our information safe from those pesky password crackers. Cyber students, we have talked about how important encryption is for protecting our secrets. But did you know that cryptography involves a lot of complex mathematics? This can sometimes slow down our computers, especially when dealing with a lot of data. That is where hardware security modules, or HSMs, come in. They're like specialized computers designed specifically for encryption. Think of them as super efficient encryption machines. Encryption powerhouses. HSMs can generate strong encryption keys, encrypt and decrypt data quickly, and store those keys securely, all in one place. They are like the Fort Knox of the digital world, keeping our encryption keys safe and sound. Used by the big players. HSMs are used by banks, governments, and cloud providers to protect their most sensitive information. They are like having a team of expert cryptographers working 24/7 to protect your data. Now, here is a pop quiz question for viewers. Why do you think banks and governments use HSMs to protect their data? If you think it is because HSMs provide a high level of security for encryption keys and make cryptography operations faster and more efficient, then you are absolutely right. It's like having a vault inside a vault. Now, HSMs are not just about speed, but also security. They protect against unauthorized access by keeping the encryption keys hidden inside the device. It's like having a secret recipe in a safe. No one can steal it. HSMs also help improve performance in highly secure settings, like cloud services. They can handle many encryption and decryption tasks quickly and efficiently without slowing down the system. When governments and big companies choose HSMs, they follow what are called FIPS 140-2 and -3. FIPS 140-2 and FIPS 140-3 are both standards that define security requirements for cryptographic modules. These standards are like a set of rules that ensure the HSMs meet strict security requirements. FIPS categorizes HSMs into 4 levels, like different levels of security clearances. Level number 1 is just basic security, like a regular lock on a door. Level number 2, more physical security, like adding a deadbolt to the door. Level number 3, even stronger security, like having an alarm system and security cameras. And then level number 4, the highest level of security. It's like having a vault with multiple locks and guards. So if a company needs powerful encryption management, it would choose an HSM with a higher FIPS level. The takeaway is HSMs are like the superheroes of encryption, providing both security and efficiency. They are an essential tool for protecting sensitive information in the digital world. By understanding how they work, we can better appreciate the complex world of cryptography and how it keeps our data safe. Now, dear students, coming up next is Module 6, Cryptography Part 4. In this module, we will build on the basics we have covered already and dive into some more cryptography. We will continue to look at asymmetric cryptography, and specifically, we're going to be looking at the public key infrastructure, PKI. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in Module 6.